So, anxiety, separation anxiety, separation issues. 9 times out of 10, it's not connected to anxiety. It's not connected to separation anxiety, because that is actually quite severe in terms of vomiting, shaking, foaming. If a dog is generally suffering from separation anxiety, the symptoms and the signs that it will show you are quite horrific to see. So 9 times out of 10, it's more separation issues, which potentially then could come under attention-seeking behaviour, or the simple fact that the dog hasn't been left or taught to be left on its own, or taught that it can be comfortable, relaxed, happy and contented in its own company. So Bower, Doberman, and we see a lot of these, and it's becoming quite a breed trait of the Doberman to display separation issues, not anxiety, issues. So to the point of, he will whine, he will bark, he will pace, he will wander up and down. Come on in here, mate, sit there. He will wander up and down, and like most Dobermans, and as I say, we do see quite a lot, this is his happy place. He wants nothing more or craves nothing more than this, being stuck to anybody, okay? And he's a lovely boy, but in this modern time, following on from the world's pandemic and the COVID issues and all of that kind of stuff, naturally, lots and lots more people are starting to work from home. Brilliant, excellent, lovely. You can have Zoom calls and Teams meetings and all that kind of jazz, sat in your pajamas with a nice 3D green screen background of you on a beach in the Bahamas. Great. However, because we are still working from home, what we're seeing now more of is it is now subconsciously creeping into manifesting and making dogs become more anxious when we do go, because they're too used or getting too used to curled up by our feet while we are typing at the computer, curled up by our feet while we are, you know what I mean? Lunch break, we're working from home. So what we're going to do, turn the computer off, go to the kitchen and make a sandwich or whatever. Every time that we do that, our dogs are with us or following us. So even though we are not leaving the house because we're working from home and we can't theoretically or morally leave the house, okay, we still need to have a routine. We still need to have the structure and the routine of separating the dog from us purposefully, even though we're not leaving the house. So again, this boils down to crate training, and I keep banging on about it. It boils down to crate training, where you need your dog to be comfortable, relaxed and happy to settle in a crate, okay? So even though we're not leaving the house, it's so beneficial to prevent anxiety issues manifesting, purposefully separating yourself from your dog, even though you're not leaving the house. And then that leads us on to the issues of dealing at when we do want to get to Tesco's or we are going to go out for a meal. We're putting the dog in a crate so it's safe and contented, and we're not making an issue of it. We're not saying goodbye, we'll see you in an hour, coochie coochie coo. We're not over egging the omelette. So we're not causing the simple situation of us leaving the house and again arriving back home to the house after being anywhere, a massive pantomime in the dog's life. So just a little bit of Dobermans and what we're seeing at the moment in relation, it's not just Dobermans, it's quite a lot of breeds. Because we're working from home nowadays, and it's more common that people are working from home nowadays, we are now starting to see separation issues when they do go back to work, or they do want to go out for a meal, or they do want to go to the pub or whatever it is, okay? So the point is, even though you are working from home and you're not leaving the house to go to work, still have structured time and a routine where your dog is on its own, in another room, in a crate, safe, content, with a puzzle in there, a lick mat, a Kong full of frozen pate, tea towel with kibble tied up in a knot, tie it up in 10 knots to keep the dog busy. If the dog has a puzzle or something to do when it is in the crate, that is quickening up the sleeping process. Because the end result is when the dog goes in there, we want it to be asleep. Bower, come here. We want it to be asleep, sit there. And to help us aid the dog to fall asleep quicker, we want to give it something to do and mentally stimulate it while it's actually in the crate. And it works because all the time that Bower here is trying to find that bit of kibble in the tea towel, guess what? Every time he finds a bit, he's getting rewarded. So actively separate yourself. Bower, get off, come here. Actively sit there. Actively separate yourself from your dog on a regular basis, 2 times, 3 times, depending on the age, 10 times throughout the working day. So the dog does not become reliant on always being by your side. So even though you aren't leaving the house and you are working from home, make sure you still continue the routine of teaching these dogs and reassuring these dogs that being on their own is not a massive drama. Hey, mate. Hey. Bower. Bower. Good lad. Good boy.